Hello gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my beginner's guides and basics for Pokemon Unite. Now guys, I'm going to say straight up in this video, I am still early learning MOBA player. So if I miss anything in today's video, or if you feel you have better and more helpful tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you feel like there's something I could learn that I would benefit from personally, you're more than welcome to leave that in the comments. I'm going to by no means say that this guide is perfect, but this is going to help you out to the best of my ability to get you started in Pokemon Unite. Now, for starters, Pokemon Unite is a MOBA. It's not like traditional Pokemon games. It is essentially a fighting / arena control like kind of game. I don't know how to describe a MOBA the best way to put it, but it's kind of like playing a really giant game of domination, except instead of holding the points, you're trying to score on them or destroy them, depending on the type of MOBA you're playing. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go through a couple basic things when it comes to Pokemon Unites. So here in Pokemon Unites, you're going to have a couple different classes. Now, let me explain to you. A Pokemon is going to be considered a different class. Every single Pokemon has a different class to it. Well, every single Pokemon does. Like, for example, Scizor here, you guys will see that he is attack, he's a melee based, and he's an all-rounder. Meaning he can do all kinds of things. You can use him, you can build him to a tank style kind of Pokemon. You can build him up with more HP to take more damage and, push objectives and be the frontline guy. You can use him as a jungler, to be that guy who farms XP and levels up high so he can back up either of the lanes. You can use him for a DPS or a speedster. You can build him to have more movement speed and damage and be, that quick bow guy around the map. There's all kinds of different things you can do when it comes to a all-rounder style Pokemon. Pikachu is what you will call an attacker. Pikachu is a ranged attacker. So for example, Pikachu is going to fire long-range projectiles at his enemies, meaning he doesn't have to get up close and personal to attack his enemies. He can also have things that do AoE damage or possibly do damage over time, depending on, what type of element Pikachu is. Blastoise here, he's a defender, aka, for you MMO players out there, what you would call a tank. His goal is to be, at the front line of the combat. These guys are usually going to be your dudes that go bottom lane, usually. On Pokemon Unite's new map, don't quote me on this, but I do believe things are swapped. I believe defenders and melee types do aim to play more top lane now, and the range types aim to play more bottom lane, while speedsters and whatever type of DPS you decide to use play mid or jungle and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure. However, the game is going to tell you the lane it recommends for you. So be sure to look at that. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me in the comments. If I'm right about it, feel free to let me know. I just remember when I went ahead and took my buddy Cinderace on the new map for Unite on the first time. Cinderace is usually a top lane style character or a jungler, and it recommended me to go bottom lane when the new map came out. So therefore, I'm assuming things are swapped from the way the map used to be before. I'm not 100% sure about that. But like I said, I'll be sure to remind you guys and show you where it gives you your lane recommendation when you're picking a Pokemon. Now, next up, we have your speedsters. Guys like Zayara, for example, are going to be your speedsters. These are usually melee-focused, very fast-moving DPS Pokemon. These guys are the ones that you're usually going to find jungling. Your best thing with these guys, because of how fast their movement speed is, they are good at farming mobs in the AI Pokemon quickly to get quick XP. You always want to build these characters, to get more XP and, just grow faster over time. Your job as a jungler is going to be to farm XP in the jungle, get yourself as high leveled as you possibly can, as fast as you can, while backing up and supporting the players on either lane that need support. So if they need support up top and they're not, able to get their objective and everything, you go help the guys up top. If the bottom's suffering, you help them at the bottom, etc., etc., etc. And also, if you're playing your job right, you can also be the first person there ready to fight the big boss, when it comes time for that in the match as well, and give a head start to your team for damaging it and getting that boss buff for killing them. Next, we have your support. type Pokemon. Now these Pokemons, when you hear support, a lot of people are going to think to themselves healer at the beginning of the day. But listen, these guys can't just sit there and spam cure on you. You are responsible for maintaining your own health. But these guys can heal you in crucial situations, and they can buff you. But at the end of the day, their biggest job is to support the tank, helping the lanes, and also, you know, give buffs and everything to your team so you guys can always have an advantage over the enemy. They're not just someone who can sit there and spam a heal or a cure on you all day like an MMO. This is not an MMO, this is a MOBA, so do keep that in mind. Supports have just a big role to play when it comes to damage and golding, just like the DPS and the tanks do in the game. Now, the next thing you want to know about your Pokemon is their moves and their build. Your moveset is always an important thing. When it comes to Pokemon, right? When you're playing these especially, I wouldn't go, and I know this is hypocritical because you guys are looking at my video right now, but just listen to me carefully. I wouldn't go with every single move recommendation that every single person and guide recommends to you on YouTube. Find a set of moves that are comfortable for you and your playstyle with that Pokemon, and build upon that from there. And then, you know, try out other styles that people recommend, because everything that I recommend and how I like to play a specific Pokemon, that might not work out quite the way for you. Like, for example, me personally, I like playing Scissor here with Bullet Punch and Sword Dance. That gives me one move, that's, you know, one special attack move, and that gives me one buff. Some people might like having two special attack moves, or, you know, and no buffs or something like that. It all depends on your playstyle. So I wouldn't exactly go with every single move set that everybody recommends. Feel one out for yourself first, and then try, you know, to experiment and things like that. Another very important thing is your held items. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When you first start Pokemon Unite as a new player, you are at a disadvantage in this area. But Pokemon Unite does have skill-based matchmaking and stuff like that. So there is you're not always going to be, you know, just matched up with people that are going to steamroll you. But keep in mind, these items only give you a small percentage of an advantage. But in crucial situations, these percentages, they can add up. All right, things stack, you know, different scenarios happen, you know, damage plus damage equals more damage. So just keep that in mind. But you have different items here that can buff your Pokemon. These are called held items. When you first start the game, you're going to be given a few of these for free, but you're going to have to grind them and purchase them using gold, and you're going to have to upgrade them over time with what's called item enhancers. The good news is, guess what? You get these all through gameplay. The gold to buy them and the item enhancers, you get them through gameplay. And there are special events that take place in the game that can give you even more of them. So events is another thing you definitely want to take advantage of if you want to get competitive in the game real quickly. The level cap for all these items is 30 as of right now. This level cap very well could increase one day as the meta and the community grows, but as of right now, the level cap for these items is 30. So I would get, you know, used to a couple of items that are good for a few Pokemon that you like to play, that could, you know, all be like in a similar build style or something. And I would focus on leveling those items, because as a new player, these can take time to level up. These items, they all give different buffs and special things. Some, you know, give you more crit damage, more HP and stuff like that. It just depends on the type of Pokemon you're using and the role you're playing to determine the best items for you. Next, I want to talk to you guys about boost items. Now, these boost emblems, I'm sorry. These items, I wouldn't use these too much until you have enough to build at least a full ring level. As you guys can see here, you see how mine's 7 out of 10. I'm putting one together that's decent, you know, for some of my DPS style Pokemon now. This is actually a recommended loadout that the system gave to me. I just wanted to use for an example for this video. But once you can fill all 10 of these circles, that's when I would recommend you start using the boost emblems. So that way, you know, you can balance. Because the thing with these emblems, right, they're going to give you a buff, but it's going to trade off with something. So, for example, some might give you more attack power, but take away HP. For example, that would be good for, you know, more like DPS and speedster style Pokemon that are built, you know, to take less damage but dish more out and things like that. These are just more of things that are going to contribute to the build with your Pokemon and things like that. But I would definitely, you know, collect a decent amount of these before you start playing with them, and find a good combination that's good for you and your Pokemon. But remember, you can build multiple loadouts with them, so don't worry if you make one loadout, it's not set in stone, and you can change things around at any time and stuff like that. These are your held items. These are always going to have a cooldown in game. You have this, it has infinite use in a battle, but it does have a cooldown. For example, the potion has 30 seconds. X attack, 40 seconds. These are all different things you can use to give you a little boost or an advantage in the game. The stronger the item is, the more of a cooldown it's probably going to have. Me personally, I like to carry a potion because I'm not going to lie. In MOBAs, I like to fight a lot. All right, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you guys about that. So I always carry a potion just in case, you know, if I start to lose more HP than my opponent, I can click that potion on and get a little bump of HP back. Surprise them. They're like, oh, and, you know, they have to rethink their strategy and what they're doing to get my health knocked back down. But there are things like X attack, X speed, Fluffy Tail, you know, all different ones. Ones that can boost your attack, ones that can help you score easier. There are all kinds of different things that can help you in here. So think of a good item that suits your playstyle, and I would carry that around. But you can switch these in and out anytime. Just make sure you do that, you know, before you go ahead and hop into a match. Two other things you guys want to pay attention to here. You do have a practice range. Keep in mind, in this practice range, you can try out any Pokemon you want to, even if you don't own the Pokemon yet. So use the practice range to try Pokemon before you buy them, because Pokemon Unite, it's also a mobile game, so there are some very silly monetization practices. And if, for example, when new Pokemon come out, they're locked behind a small paywall before you can buy them with the free currency. But the good news is you will have an option to buy any and every Pokemon that comes out with free currency, or buy some type of free-to-play event, you know, whenever they launch. That's usually how the Pokemon are launched. I've never seen one that's just been, you know, locked behind a paywall all the time. If there has been, feel free to correct me in the comments, but I personally haven't seen that happen. Another thing I also want to recommend to everybody in their settings, and this is just a real quick simple thing. Make sure you go in your system settings up here and put your frame rate on high. I don't care if you're playing on Switch or mobile. Having a high frame rate is always going to help you with your response time and everything in the game. Now, just a few little reminders and tips I want to give you guys before we go ahead and get into a match and I explain my thought process and how I personally play. You have two different types of currencies in here. You have these crystal things, which are the paid currency, and you have the gold currency, which is earnable and grindable in the game. The paid one usually can buy you a lot of different cosmetic things, battle passes and stuff like that. The gold can be used to buy Pokemon, things to help boost your Pokemon in battle. Another thing I was telling you guys about before when I was in the menu was you make sure you always check your events. The events in here, they give you all kinds of different opportunities, and they're free. You can earn brand new Pokemon that come out. Like, for example, Mew is going to be for sale in the shop eventually, but there's an event here that gives everybody the chance to earn Mew for free just by playing the game. You can get more capsules, you know, so you can earn different cosmetic items. There are ones that give you free coins. There are ones that will give you free Pokemon outfits. There are ones that will give you free currency every day and stuff like that. Like, for example, here, look, I'm going to get 50 fashion tickets just for signing in. And I have over 30,000 fashion tickets just chilling. But yeah, the events tab, just make sure you check it every day. There's all kinds of free and unlockable stuff that, you know, can easily be overlooked because, you know, you just want to hop right into battle, which is fine. You know, I want to get in and get on my grind too, but I'm just saying, if there's free stuff there, make sure you check it out and grab it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get ourselves into a battle so I can show you guys my thought process. In today's battle, I'm going to use a ranged attacker. We're going to play as Cinderace. Thea Sky Ruins, like I said, is the new map. And let's go ahead and queue ourselves up, and I'll explain everything as we get inside. Now, another big fat tip I can give you guys also is always make a certain Pokemon your favorite. If there's one that you like to play frequently, favorite it. You know why? Because whenever you have them favorited, you'll always land right on them immediately. So that way, you know, you can pick that Pokemon before anybody else does, especially if you're limited to the amount of play styles you can play. Like me, for example, I'm not really good at tank or support, so I always have, you know, a DPS I like playing favorited. Also, you'll see down here in the bottom right, path settings. If you hit ZR on your controller, I'm not sure what button it is for mobile. As you can see now, bottom path is recommended for me as Cinderace, who is a long-range attacker. I used to be recommended for the top path for back when the old map was a thing on Pokemon Unite. So make sure if you're unsure of where you're supposed to be, check that before you go into the match. So as you guys can see here, matches, their time limit is 10 minutes long. That's how long a match takes. You're going to be granted both moves you see here at the bottom eventually. I always start out with Ember because Ember does damage over time. As you guys can see, I have two other Pokemon with me right now. I think one of them should be jungling, but it looks like our Gengar is going to go ahead and jungle for us. Now, me personally, I would recommend not attacking other players until you're about level 4 or 5. You know, around the stage of evolving to your first form, or at least close to it. Now, not every Pokemon in here evolves, so do take that as a disclaimer. But as you can see how he's going in right there, he's fighting a little bit too early. I wouldn't recommend fighting that early, but that's just me. Everybody plays different. If you have an advantage and, you know, you can take somebody out quick and early in the game, of course, you know, that'll let you score easily and things like that. But I wouldn't always, you know, just go right into combat. That's not always the best and wisest thing. Like this bird right here, he could have got smoked easily if anybody else could have followed up. But yeah, your focus should be simply just running around, farming the AI Pokemon, defending your teammates. If they look like they're going to be in trouble, go ahead and kill. Like I just got that guy right there, and this Charmander, he seems like he wants it too. Are you going to stay and get a piece? It looks like he really wants a piece. But no, never mind. He's going to run off. But yeah, it's gonna happen. All right, fighting is going to be inevitable sometimes because there are some players who just want to, you know, they're ready to come get the 6-piece no sauce when they first get into the restaurant. Me, I like to run around, look around, you know, get my order ready, and then ask for the 6-piece no sauce. Like this guy, he clearly wants the sauce. So I'm going to give it to him. Oh, he got lucky. Woof. But yeah, you see how I'm getting jumped right here and stuff like that? It's little advantages they get easily like that. Why I don't like to fight very early on. But there are some people that just want it. And then there's also the fact that they could be being slick like this. I want to use this as a diversion so they can score, which is fine. You know, some people do have some slick tactics, but I would just recommend farming AI until you're around 4 or 5. Now, I just killed a level 5 player. Oof. All right, let's get out of there. Yeah, and I'm going to heal up. That could have been a double kill if I would have followed up on that better. Yeah, we just want to keep farming, keep leveling. And since ain't nobody around here, we can go ahead and score. Now, as you guys can see, the goal says 80 out of 80. You have a set amount of Pokeballs that you want to put in each goal. Once you score 80 Pokeballs in there, the goal is destroyed and you can move up farther. Your objective here is basically, you see the map there in the left corner? You want to get to that spot. Oh, these guys are going to give me a free double kill. Oh, that was silly. Y'all were silly for that. Do you not just see what your friends went through? Like, they don't get it. They just handed me that free double kill and he came and offered another one. And he scored, but at the cost of his life. This guy's going to try it again. You should have killed him, champ. But yeah, we just want to keep farming. Like I said, keep killing. And we want to stay on top of this because the goal, what you want to do ultimately to your opponents, is you want to stay ahead of them in level. If you keep that advantage, killing your opponents won't be as difficult, and scoring and doing the things your team needs to do to advance won't be as difficult either. And as you guys can see, this is not an AI match. I had that set to off in the beginning. We are going against real players. There are also little field boss enemies, like this Registeel over here. And there's also going to be a giant one that appears later in the match. These guys give you huge buffs that are advantages for your team. You always want to take advantage of these, as they can give you shields, extra health, extra attack power, double scoring. There's all kinds of things that these will do for you. Now, because I got him, everybody on this team can take extra damage. Every single person. Now, just because of where we're at, I am level 11. I want to keep up the farm. Alright, I do not want to stop leveling just because I'm high. Your level cap in here is 15. You want to get to there as quick as possible. You want to be there before your enemy. You want to have that advantage over your enemy the whole game. Alright, I'm not saying, you got to sweat, try hard, and just crush the enemy with every single game, but if you want to win, that's your goal. You want to be on top every single match. You want to be on top of that level. You want to be growing non-stop. Alright, one thing you gotta notice about me as I'm playing, I'm never going to stop looking for mobs. Ever. I'm going to keep farming no matter what the cost. I'm not going to steer too far away from my team. I know I'm getting a little bit a ways away now. But I want to keep the farm going. Like stuff like this, I need stuff like this. Alright, you want to level, and you want to help your teammates level too. And if you're struggling with leveling, the best thing to do, go jungle for a bit. If you're playing with players that you know and trust. Woo! Okay, that was a good one. Alright. See, Bird Boy, for example. As you guys know, I had a big advantage in level ahead of him earlier. You know what he did? He went and farmed more, or he went and jungled. Got himself ahead of me, and he said, yo, I'm coming to clap that Cinderace. Now, the match is getting close to the 2-minute mark. Yeah, these matches do move pretty fast in here. Pretty soon they're going to be spawning the main boss in the middle, who will give you one of the biggest advantages in the game. And I want to kill all these guys because, like I said, I want the levels. So since he wanted to stay, he's going to get the sauce. Charizard, you're going to get the sauce too, baby. Everybody's getting the sauce, all right? I got sauce for everyone. All right, and yeah, this is the main boss. You want to be the person who gets the last bit of damage and kills him. So that way your team gets the advantage. We got the advantage. Push them, kill them, crush them, as y'all can see. I'm going to go ahead and let him score because I got 49 balls. I want to get into their main goal. I'm going to end that Charizard. I got 50. And because we're here, guess what? We're going to get 100. But yeah, that is how your points are measured right there. Now, endgame can get kind of tough and everything depending on how things are played. But your goal right there, and I know this is kind of horrible to say because these matches go so bad for the other team. But your goal is to honestly get your team to hold that position at this final goal right here. Keep scoring, stomp them, and hold them in their spawn until the match is over. That is what that end advantage gives you the power to do. Can you always do that? No. Do games always play out like that? No. They can be pretty balanced. But in this case, that is our team's goal. We're probably not even going to make it back there in time, but you guys have the general idea of how a match should go. Like the points that are scored for your team are what you score in the little unite goals. And kills are just, you know, what makes scoring possible. So you're killing at the end of the day. Killing is just your side objective. Taking out other Pokemon, getting them off the field so you can score. Your main objective is always going to be those goals. And let's see how we came out. Yeah, as you guys can see, we beat them 716 to 275. I personally scored 79 in my goal, not too bad. The top place guy was at 87, so I was second highest on the team. Got 11 kills and 2 assists. Not too bad, not a shabby game. I don't think it's, you know, too bad of a game. I think any decent Pokemon Unite player would say that's a decent or average game. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for my beginner's guide for Pokemon Unite. Let me know if this video helped you down in the comments below. And like I said, if you got any pointers or tips for me, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll see y'all in the next one. You enjoyed this video? Smash that like. You're new here and you want more Unite? Subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace!